It's the Portugal Cup final known as the Taça de Portugal on Sunday, May 26th at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time between Porto and Sporting Lisbon at the Centro Desportivo Nacional do Hamar. Now let's break down this final, and if you enjoyed this preview and want more soccer picks and predictions, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel to get more soccer picks in all kinds of tournaments this summer. If we look back at the last round to see how these teams got here, Porto won 1-0 and 3-1 over Vitória SC in the semifinals. Their run in this tournament has seen them go 6-0-0, outscoring their opposition 16-2. They actually haven't lost in this tournament since going back to 2021, a run of 21 games. Their last loss was to Braga in the semifinals in the 2020-2021 tournament. Lisbon Sporting won 2-1 and drew 2-2 with Benfica in the semifinals, and they're 5-1-0 in the tournament. They scored 20 and allowed just 6. The odds for the Taça de Portugal final see Porto coming in at plus 187, the draw plus 230, Sporting Lisbon plus 140. Porto to advance, even money at plus 100, Lisbon to advance minus 134 and lift the trophy. Remember, you're betting a final here, so if you want to make sure that the team you're betting to win, your bet comes through no matter how they win, regulation, extra time, or penalties, you do have to look for that to advance or to lift trophy. Don't just bet the three-way money line, as that will only count for the 90 minutes. Now, over and unders, both minus 112 on the 2.5. Both teams to score yes, minus 150. Both teams to score no, plus 110. Head-to-head between Porto and Sporting this season. Sporting won 2-0 in Lisbon, and they drew 2-2 in Porto. Porto has held the upper hand, though, in recent years with just one loss in 10. They're 5-4-1. But only once in 9 games have there been fewer than 2 goals between these two teams, and only twice in 17 games have there been fewer than 2 goals. So there are usually goals when these teams meet up. For Porto, they were never really in the title race in Portugal this season. They finished third at 22-6-6, 8 back of second place Benfica. But the 27 goals allowed were a league best, so defensively they were very tight. They finished the season undefeated in 7, winners of 3 straight. They scored in 9 straight, but both teams to score had gone 6-2, so they were letting in some goals towards the end of the season. For Sporting Lisbon, they were near perfect this season at 29-3-2. They finished with 90 points. That's 10 points clear of second place Benfica, 17 points above third place Porto. Lisbon hasn't lost in 11 games, and only a 2-1 Europa League loss to the eventual Europa League winners Atalanta back in March stands as their only loss in their past 23 games. They've also scored a goal in each of those 23 games, and they've scored multiple goals in 18 of those 23 games, and they have kept a clean sheet in 6 of their last 7. If we look at Porto and Sporting, best bets and predictions for the Taça de Portugal final, let's go over a few stats and things to consider. Benfica leads this tournament with the most wins ever with 26, followed by Porto with 19 and Sporting at 17, so a Sporting win could see them pull within 1 to the second most wins in this tournament. Porto has won each of the last 2 finals and 3 of the last 4. Sporting, though, did win in 2018-2019, winning in PKs after drawing this Porto team 2-2. And while finals are often tight, a lot of times you think there'll be a lot of goals. Sometimes it plays out a little cagey as neither team wants to make an error. If we look at past finals, each of the last 9 have seen at least 2 goals scored. The last 3 have been won by somebody by 2 goals, and there's been 3 or more goals in 7 of the last 9 Taça de Portugal finals, and both teams to score has hit in 7 of the last 9. If we look at some injury concerns for both teams, they both come on the defensive side. Porto captain Pepe has been out with an Achilles injury, unsure if he'll be playing. For Sporting, both keepers, Aidan and Israel, are injured, so it will be 19-year-old Diego Pinto to get the nod. Here, Porto has such a long history of success in this competition. It's just hard to count them out when they're going on such a long streak of no losses in this tournament. They didn't get the title this year. They won't be going to Champions League, so they'll surely be going all out to win this. But it's clearly Sporting who's had the better season this year. They have been scoring for fun, with Jaqueras leading all scorers in Portugal with 29 goals and Paulinho tied in 4th with 15. Like I said, finals can be tight, but both should get on the score sheet, in my opinion. There's been lots of goals between these teams. We already saw a 2-2 this season. And in the semifinals, both bets on both teams to score did go 3-4 if we combine the 4 games that these teams played. So let's look at a few different options. You could simply go both teams to score. It was minus 150 at Bet365. There's minus 143 over at Caesars. So that could be enough for me if you just want maybe an easy payout there if it's even just 1-1. we want to make these odds a little bit better, we could look at both teams to score and the under 4 at plus 190. So goal from both and a relatively tight game, or be even safer and go both teams to score and under 5 at plus 105. Given the fact that Sporting's been the better team all season long, you could also just go with Sporting to lift the trophy at minus 134. To me, I'm thinking that maybe the safest bet is both teams to score and under 5 goals, coming in at plus 105 odds. Now, who do you see coming out on top here? Porto for the third straight time, or can Sporting continue their brilliant season? Share your picks down there in the comments, and best of luck with all of your finals picks.